Screenwriting is the craft of writing scripts for movies, TV shows, and other visual media. It's all about creating a blueprint for storytelling, from setting scenes and building characters to crafting dialogues and transitions. Let's go over the basics. First, let's talk about the action lines. An action line is what we see on screen. It can introduce characters, show actions, or set the scene. A character line establishes who is speaking and the line of dialogue that follows. A dialogue line is the dialogue that follows the character line. The parenthetical line is used to modify the dialogue and alter its context. For example, it's often used to add a physical action to the dialogue. The transition line is used to visually shift from one scene to another. For instance, if there's a passage of time, the transition line shows that change. A scene heading tells you the location and time of day for the scene. It sets up whether you're inside or outside, where you are, and if it's day or night. A shot heading is used in shooting scripts to specify the type of shot, like a close-up, wide shot, high angle, or crane shot. It tells you where the camera is placed and what it captures. Now, let's move on to how to start a screenplay. The first thing is to establish the scene. You'd be able to see as you're about to write that you'll have a drop-down showing you 3 options for you to begin your scene with. First, there's INT, which means the scene is indoors. Then we have EXT for outdoor scenes. Lastly, IE is used for scenes that move between inside and outside or are in a place that is both. So let's begin by establishing a scene. It's key to note the time in a scene. The common terms for this are day, night, and continuous, the latter meaning the same time as the previous scene. Now that we've covered how to begin a scene, we can move forward to start an action line by hitting enter. Let's write a simple scene to start our screenplay. And once done, by hitting enter, you will be shown a drop-down list of many options to follow up your scene. You can select any of these available options by mouse, arrow key, or by the keyboard shortcut. Now let's add a dialogue line. To write dialogue, you need to know when and who the character is speaking to or about. For example, if our character, Alexa, is speaking to her teddy bear, we can add a parenthetical like this: "To Teddy." This changes the context of the dialogue, making it clear she's talking to her teddy bear. Parentheticals provide essential context that alters the meaning of the dialogue. Let's add a shot for our next scene. A shot depends on what you'd like the audience to focus on. For example, if you write on the window, we know the focus will be on said object. Your story can go in any direction, but it's important to define details like these so it's easier for the audience to follow along. And now let's talk about transitions. Once you select the transition line option, a new drop-down will appear with 5 different options: cut to, back to, fade in, fade out, and lastly, jump cut to. Now, if you were to write about a passage of time, you could go for a jump cut to. It's a very sudden type of cut. It just goes from one to the next very suddenly. In this example, we're moving from inside to outside to a new location. This shift gives the audience a completely different time and place. The jump is literal. And since we used a jump cut to work this scene, our next action line can begin by utilizing IE, as the sudden shift from one place to another allows us to use it. It's basically utilizing all of the elements in one single scene. And these are the basics of screenwriting.